Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, wherever you are. Remember, you have greatness inside of you. Welcome back to another Habs Daily News with the hockey coach, Guru called Frenchy. Today, episode number 372. What a minute, coach. First of all, guys, Montreal Canadiens season 2023-2024, the key of the success. Finally, we have a special Habs mock trade proposal. But before we start, we invite you, please don't forget to click on the like, subscribe to the Hockey Nation Show, and leave us a comment about this episode. And let's dive in talking about my first subject of the day. My first subject of the day, guys, we have no news. So let's talking about the Habs 2023-2024 key of the success. First of all, guys, remember in 2021-2022, Montreal got only 55 points, last and descending in NHL. And 22-23, they increasing the number of the point of 13 to finish fifth at the bottom in NHL with 68 points. What it would be the number of the point for the Montreal Canadiens for the upcoming season to be successful year? First of all, I see three areas the Montreal Canadiens have to become better. First of all is the number of the injuries. We know in the last two seasons, Montreal Canadiens is the team with the most missing game participant players. Secondly, the goalies for the Montreal Canadiens. Jake Allen have a really bad year last year. He need to perform better to help the Montreal Canadiens have a better year. Secondly, Montembeault expectation for year number 2 with the Montreal Canadiens has to continue what he did last year and better. If it's the case, this is another area I believe Montreal could have an amazing, great year for the upcoming season. And finally, for me, is a sophomore year. What are you talking about? I'm talking about players like Sakoski, Kovacevic, Barron, Harris, Jekai, Cooley. Some of them are going to play the second year with the Montreal Canadiens. We know they developed very well last season under the head coach Martin Saint-Louis, but they need to develop better. This is very important year for all those rookies for the Montreal Canadiens. If they continue to develop, I believe Montreal Canadiens with the less injuries and a great performance as a goaltender, this is the recipes to have a better year for the Montreal Canadiens for the upcoming season. Now, what I did, guys, about what happened with the Montreal Canadiens last year and the standing. First of all, Montreal Canadiens finished 10 points in front of the Anaheim Ducks, the last position in the standing last year with 68 points compared to 58 points for the Ducks. Then they finished 24 points behind of the last spot playoff in 2022-2023 season, the Florida Panthers. So I look about what could be a really good year for the Montreal Canadiens and the standing compare the position with other teams in NHL. First of all, to consider Montreal Canadiens to be really successful next year in 2023-2024, if they can be 10 to 14 points behind for the last spot in the playoff and the standing, I feel like Montreal Canadiens are going to have a great year for the upcoming season. And finally, if they can be 15 points and more from the last position in the standing, again, this is going to consider a great year for the Habs next season. Coach, what is the point you're looking for the Montreal Canadiens? In my opinion, if Montreal could be between 79 points to 83 points, I feel this is going to be a great year. They're increasing the number of points between 11 to 15, and they are going to be a little bit less of 14 points from the playoff spot and more over 15 points for the last position. This is for me a successful year for the Montreal Canadiens under Martin Saint-Louis. This is another year where they're increasing and they become better as a team. I feel like Montreal Canadiens are going to be contender to maybe make the NHL playoff in 2024-2025, but the year 2025-2026 is going to be the year where I really believe Montreal are going to be in the playoff. I would love to hear from you guys about this subject of the key of the success for the Montreal Canadiens. What will be the number of the points you expect for the Montreal Canadiens for the upcoming season? Let's move on for my next subject of the day. My next subject is about under or over. Yesterday we talked about Suzuki at 75 points. Many of you expect Suzuki to get over 75 points, but today we have for you Kirby Dach at 52 points. We know Dach did 38 points last season with the Montreal Canadiens in 58 games. But for the upcoming season, what it will be your expectation for Kirby Dach? But what about you, coach? I look around, guys, I want to be shocked if Kirby Dach, with no injury, play over 70 games with the Montreal Canadiens to get a minimum of 55 points, and I go with over for Kirby Dach. I would love to hear from you guys what you expect for Kirby Dach next season. I expect Kirby Dach with 19 goals, 37 assists for a total of 56 points for the upcoming season. And let's move on for my last subject of the day. My last subject of the day is a little bit different. I want to talk about the Habs mock trade proposal. But today, it's not like usually it is. What are you talking about? First of all, guys, Montreal Canadiens have three goalies: Jake Allen, Casey DeSmith, and Samuel Montembeault. Many of you respond in the last couple of days when I've tried to trade a goalies for the Montreal Canadiens. Coach, it's not good enough. Montreal need at least a second round pick. I did some search for you guys. What are you talking about, Coach? The NHL goalies value in the last two seasons when they make a trade with a goaltender. Look what's happening. Here we go. I look about all the roster for the upcoming season 2023-2024. Detroit, Ville Husso got a third round pick. Vanecek got a third round pick. Wedgwood, a third round pick. Gorgiev, two third round pick. Hill, fourth round pick. Vladar, third round pick. And the only goalie got a second round pick. It was during the trade deadline. Remember, from Chicago to Minnesota Wild. If you look about all the goalies, guys, do you really believe Jake Allen, Samuel Montembeault, and Casey DeSmith are better at the list we have in front of you? I don't think so. So when you said to me they should get a second round pick or a first round pick, I don't see that. This is what we got in the last two seasons in NHL. Today, I did not do a trade proposal for you guys. But what I did, I showed to you, don't expect too much in return from DeSmith, Jake Allen, or Samuel Montembeault if ever they decide to trade one of them for the upcoming weeks. The maximum I expect is a third round pick if it's a one-to-one. If they do a package deal, this is another ball game. Anderson can use a genius. And maybe I'm going to be really wrong after the genius can use make a trade with one of the three goalies I just mentioned. That's it. That's all, guys. I would like to hear from you. Leave me a comments about what I just mentioned about the value of the goalies the Montreal Canadiens can get in return if ever they decide to trade one of the three goalies they have for the upcoming season 2023 and 2024. And that's it, guys. This concludes my episode 372. Thanks for watching another Habs Daily News today. But before we leave, guys, we invite you, don't forget to click on the like, subscribe to the Hockey Nation Show, and leave us a comments about this episode. And of course, you have greatness inside of you. And we wish you an amazing, great, blessing day, everybody.